Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. By this point, everyone has heard of Vladimir Putin, but few have heard of the men that surround him. As the saying goes, no man rules alone, and even Vladimir Putin has an inner circle. These are some of the most important men in that circle. If Putin is the bear, these men are its teeth and claws. If you have not already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get started. This is the Siloviki, Putin's inner circle. The Siloviki is made up of some of the most powerful men in Russia. Starting with Nikolai Patrushov, long-term friend, career intelligence officer, and secretary of Russia's Security Council. Patrushov is one of Putin's oldest and most trusted friends. Both men excelled in their careers within the KGB, FSB, and in the Russian government. Whenever Vladimir Putin moved up in the ranks, his friend Patrushov would not be too far behind. Patrushov is the secretary of Russia's Security Council, making him one of Putin's most important assets. The purpose of the Russia's Security Council is to carry out the will of Putin on national security issues and affairs. Nikolai Patrushov is one of Putin's keys to doing just that. Sergey Naryshkin, head of Russian Foreign Intelligence Services. Naryshkin is Putin's eyes and ears abroad. The Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, is the equivalent to the United States Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA. Naryshkin would briefly come into the spotlight in December of 2021 when he denied that Russia was planning an invasion of Ukraine. He stated that it was malicious propaganda by the U.S. State Department. He would receive attention the following year in February 2022 during a Russian Security Council meeting, in which he was publicly scolded and humiliated by Vladimir Putin for his botched response in recognizing Donetsk and Luhansk as being a part of Russia. Regardless of this, he still remains loyal to Putin and the goals of bringing Russia back to its former Soviet glory. Alexander Bortnikov, head of FSB, Federal Security Service. Alexander Bortnikov holds one of the most powerful positions in Russia, a position in which Putin also held before moving to the higher echelons of Russian power. Bortnikov is considered to be a hero of the Russian Federation, holding the highest occupied rank in the Russian military, and is a key member of Putin's inner circle. He has held the position of director of FSB since 2008 and is known for returning the FSB back to its more authoritarian roots. This form of leadership is echoed through the Russian military and Russian government. When orders come from above, you must obey. Sergey Ivanoff, former chief of the presidential administration of Russia. Ivanov is the current special representative of the President of Russia on the issues of environmental activities, ecology, and transport. Similar to Patrushov, Ivanov and Putin have known one another since their days of working in the KGB. He has a very prosperous career in Russia and has been head of the Security Council, Minister of Defense, Deputy Prime Minister, Chief of Staff, and was even a potential pick for President of Russia in 2008. But Vladimir Putin swayed the public in ways that Ivanov could not, but he still found his seat at the table. Sergey Shoigu, Minister of Defense. Serving as Minister of Defense since 2012, Sergey Shoigu is another close ally of Vladimir Putin and vital to his power. Shoigu is said to have been instrumental in the modernization of the Russian military. He is one of the few people in Putin's inner circle that does not have a military background. In 2014, he was in charge of the hostile takeover of Crimea, and he oversaw the Russian intervention in Syria. Shoigu would again in 2021 and 2022 show his loyalty by ordering the buildup of troops along the Ukrainian border before the orders were given by Putin for the full invasion. Vladimir Gagasimov, Russian General of the Army. After joining the Soviet Armed Forces at the age of 20, Gagasimov would continue to serve in the Russian Armed Forces after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Vladimir Gagasimov is dedicated to the mission of reuniting Russia to its former Soviet Union borders. He has served more than 40 years in the military, which makes it easy to see that he is a true believer of Putin's vision. Just like Shoigu, Gagasimov was involved in the planning of the Russian invasion of Crimea, and both are considered to be two of his best generals. Sergey Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. Again, there are few politicians in Putin's inner circle, and Sergey Lavrov is one of those few. Lavrov has had his hand in many pots around the world in his tenure as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Whenever Vladimir Putin needs someone to negotiate a deal outside of Russia, Sergey Lavrov is often the man who is chosen. This has helped him gain the reputation as a sophisticated negotiator and brilliant diplomat. Others say he is just Putin's mouthpiece, but despite what is said, he serves a role that helps further Russia's goals. Dmitry Rogozin, head of Roscosmos and former deputy prime minister. Roscosmos is Russia's version of NASA and is responsible for space flights, cosmonautics program, and aerospace research. Before Dmitry Rogozin was appointed by Vladimir Putin to the head of Roscosmos, he was the former deputy prime minister who was directly in charge of Russia's defense industry. This has led many to speculate that Roscosmos is more akin to China National Space Administration, or CNSA, which is China's space agency that is tied directly to the Chinese military. Igor Sechin, Russian oligarch and former deputy prime minister. Putin and Sechin's relationship may not go back to the KGB, but their relationship has been just as strong. Sechin is considered to be one of Putin's most conservative counselors and a long-term ally. Putin appointed Sechin as the chairman of Rosneft, which is the world's largest publicly traded petroleum company and third-largest Russian company. Igor Sechin is not only the chairman, but the president and CEO of Rosneft. And with this level of influence over the energy sector, he is another key member of Siloviki. Russian gas giant Gazprom recently flexed their muscle by cutting off both Poland and Bulgaria. And with Igor Sechin heading Rosneft, it should not surprise anyone if they decide to flex their muscle further by cutting off the petroleum supply as well. Ramzan Khadirov, head of the Chechen Republic. Sometimes the best way to destroy an enemy is by turning them into a friend. Russia and Chechnya have a somewhat troubled past, going from being at war with one another to being allies by the Second Chechen War. Kadyrov is considered by some to be nothing more than a war criminal with Russian support. And with Kadyrov having his own standing army with an estimated 70,000 soldiers, he is an ally or enemy that cannot be ignored in the region. Following in his father's footsteps, Kadyrov rules the Chechen Republic with an iron fist and controls almost every part of Chechen society. He and Putin see eye to eye, and now they are united under the goal of bringing Russia to its former power. Yuri Kovalchuk, Putin's alleged personal banker. Yuri Kovalchuk is probably one of the lesser-known members of Putin's inner circle, and for good reason. Kovalchuk is a dear friend of Vladimir Putin and even hosted Putin's daughter's wedding in 2013. When you are this close, it goes without saying that you are a part of the inner circle. It was also revealed in the Panama Papers that Yuri Kovalchuk had transferred hundreds of millions of dollars into offshore accounts. Many of these accounts are rumored to be owned by Putin and other high-level members of Russia. Some go even further by saying that Yuri Kovalchuk may be the second most powerful man in Russia. No man rules alone, and these are some of the biggest names behind Vladimir Putin. We are at a point in history where future generations will talk about what we are currently living through. And history is determined by the victor. If you made it to the end of this video, then support the channel with a like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting us know something you learned in the video.